Tzvi Lebetkin, you are Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So the final episode of Doctor Who Flux fluxed itself out last night. Thank God for that. Not good. It was not good at all. I mean, listen, I'm somewhat partisan. I do not like the Jodie Whittaker era. I think I've been somewhat honest about that, open about that. I am not a big fan of the Jodie Whittaker era, and this was the worst episode of the season. Is it the worst episode ever? It's down there. It's down there with Can You Hear Me and Orphan 55, and it's really bad. It's really bad on many levels. Has a real fundamental lack of understanding of what Doctor Who is and the character. It was just atrocious. I mean, at one point in there, we have the Doctor actually committing genocide, somewhat gleefully, right? Somewhat smugly and gleefully committing genocide. And then at the end of it, there are no consequences. Most of the questions aren't answered. Tons of plot holes. And nothing mattered. At the end, nothing mattered, which is this era of Doctor Who. Nothing really matters. We're just waiting for Rusty Davies to come back. Is it going to be 2 years too late? Could be. It really could be. This is Trek. This is absolute Trek. On their upside, they only did 6 episodes this year. If they did like 10 episodes, the ratings would have really got low when people got used to how bad it is. That's why EastEnders ratings are so low, because it's always on, right? So people don't forget how awful it is, right? And when I say awful, preachy, which is people just not into it being preachy. Anyway, I've watched it so you don't have to. I have 320 screen grabs to show you. 320 screen grabs of this turgid nonsense. I didn't even capture the previously on Doctor Who, because there's stuff here you just have to see to be able to conceive how awful it is. Before we get into it, like, share, subscribe. I want you to know, it took me 2.5 hours to get these screen grabs today. I was like, I've really worked hard, okay? And I haven't even made the video yet. So please, like, share, subscribe. I would be very, very grateful if you do that. Comment, let me know what you think. I got all my comments I have to get back to tomorrow. If you comment, I will endeavour to reply. And I keep nearly hiccuping, right? I keep doing that. It comes close to a hiccup, and nothing happens. So there you go. So like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are good. You know what isn't good? Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who. So we start off previously. As I said, I didn't even bother capturing the previously. Let's make this a bit bigger. Because, you have to be able to see this to be able to understand quite how terrible it is. So fine. So if you recall, at the end of last week's episode, Tectune had revealed herself to be Tectune. And Jodie Whittaker was like, why didn't you just leave me to die? You stopped me, like the kid was on her own in on this deserted planet, apparently, next to a building. One interesting thing, though, they find the kid next to the this portal. They don't investigate the portal, no, and they don't investigate the building. They find the kid. I mean, maybe there's reams of data in the building. No. Let's not try and work it. And that's the sort of logic and thinking that permeates the entirety of Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who. Because, he's a moron, let's be fair. So anyway, we have, at the end of it, Swarm and the Azure show up in the Division. They are able to use the Doctor as some kind of doorway to get to Division. Because, just be clear, the Division's plan was to kill the Doctor because she's too good. Not the other ones, not the icky white men ones. Oh, no, not them. It's only this one. Only this one is so great and so inspirational that it is derailing the Division's plan. So the Division comes up with a Baldric-like plan to deal with it. They're going to get rid of the Doctor by destroying the universe. Thus, they release the Flux. Which is antimatter from another universe or somewhere. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. To destroy the Doctor, and then they hire the Weeping Angels to kidnap the Doctor and bring them to Division because they really like the Doctor after all. And if they can go to another universe, which is what they're planning on doing with the Doctor, more the better. But those say, Keith, no. Anyway, and then Swarm and Azure show up and go, hi, we're good actors. And Barbara Flynn said, I'm a good actor as well. And then Jodie Whittaker said, what's an actor? So Swarm touches Tectune and she melts away to nothing. Tectune we hardly knew, thank freaking God for that. And then the cliffhanger Swarm reaches out his hand to get Jodie Whittaker's doctor. She's gonna melt away. So how does she get out that cliffhanger? Seconds away from being melted away by Swarm and Azor, she runs away. That's right. And she says, "Ood, with me! Come with me, Mr. Ood!" And then Swarm and Azor, the super powerful Swarm and Azor, they just stay there, right? They just stand there. They're like, "Oh, she thinks running will help." Actually, kind of it did. Like, I've seen the whole episode. It did. It stopped her being killed. Anyway, meanwhile, back in the tunnels underneath Liverpool, the Sontarans have invaded and they're attacking everywhere. Pew, 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 pew. But fortunately for them, they have a hidden ace in the hole. What is the hidden ace in the hole, you think? Yeah, they think the Doctor's going to show up? No, they don't need the Doctor to show up because they have somebody even more brave, even more stubby, even more brave to show up. It's called Yaz. Yaz, she notices one of the doors, so she gets a rope and she says, "You're never defenseless, icky thump," and she throws it at the door, one of the doors with bad stuff in it, and pulls it open, and all this electricity comes out and zaps all the Sontarans. They're all dead, but none of the good people. Only the Sontarans, right? Only hits the Sontarans, and then the door closes, and Yaz says, "Icky thump, I am just so stunning and so brave." Yes, you are, yes, you are. Meanwhile, it jumps around a lot this episode. Prepare for a headache. Meanwhile, the Doctor in the division talks to the Ood and says, what happens if I take my little badge off? She has to wear it. You remember last week when she said, "How can I be here?" Said, "Oh, you have this badge to hold you in place in this non-universe, outside the universe." And he said, "Well, then you'll get sucked back to the other, your universe." And Jodie Whittaker's like, "Oh, I've got to do that, icky thump, that's so important, aye." So then, as she's about to Swarm and Azor shows up, said, "Hi, you're not going to want to leave the, we're not over there. You're not going to want to leave because I got your little watchy thing, which has all your lives on it." She's like, "Ooh, I don't know what to do now." She never knows what to do because she's Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who. Meanwhile, back at the tunnels, right? Back at the tunnels with all the dead Sontarans, they finally notice there's a convenient tunnel that leads to December 5th. This is really the day it went out was December 5th, 2021. They have a tunnel that leads directly there. They're like, "Oh, let's go through this door," and they go through the wrong door, and like, "Oh no, we're all gonna die." And then look again. If you're not looking at the screen, look at the screen here. December 5th, far future, 2021. Okay. And so that's how they all get home, right? That's how they all get home. So back over at Division, Swarm is tempting the Doctor, but she rips her badge off and then zaps out. We see a lot of this zapping out. And then all of a sudden, boom, she's on the Carvinista ship. She's in Dog Boy ship with Bell, who are fighting off the Sontarans and being stunning and brave, fighting off the Sontarans. But she keeps kind of phasing in and out, and they're not really sure what's going on. Bell then jumps up and shoots, heavily pregnant Bell, who doesn't have a pregnancy, jumps up and shoots all the Sontarans because she's a girl. She's the best as ever. As the Doctor keeps fluxing in and out. I guess it's nothing to do with the flux. Don't worry. And she said, and Belle says, "Oh, you're unstable." She said, "I'm the most stable person I know." "No, you're not, you basket case. You're a moron. No, you're not that stable." So then she phases it in and out, and Yaz and Jellicoe and Dan and Stevenson, they get to 2021, and they're met by Kate Lethbridge Stewart. Said, "Nobody move," because Kate Lethbridge Stewart is the head of what was it again? The head of the leader of human resistance against Sontaran occupation. How long have they been there? It seems like 5 minutes, maybe less. So when did it begin? Minutes ago, as it seemed, weeks ago, months ago, years ago? Nobody knows. And then the Doctor zaps it. Oh, and she also has the TARDIS. She got the TARDIS in 1967. And said, yeah, I'm the bestest ever. I'm from the leader of the resistance. And then the doctor zaps in, right? And she goes, oh, where am I? What am I? Who am I? And she doesn't know. It's doing this full-on Tennant impersonation, which she does this entire episode. And it's so tiresome, right? Her doing Tennant is just tiresome. I think that's really the only way of describing it. Kate before scans the group and said, oh, two of you have been close to Artron energy. So she's like, you must be the companions. Anyway, so the doctor zaps in, and Jens is like, oh, my darling, my love, my Liebling, oh, where have you been? Oh, and the doctor's like, oh, I keep on bitches. And she's like, hey, look at this David Tennant. Oh, what? And I do this, and she's so shit. She's so shit. And she's making me dislike David Tennant by impersonating David Tennant. But then, said, oh, I gotta hug me, Yazzie, Wazzie, get my tongue kiss. Oh. As they speak the love that dare not say its name. And she doesn't know how she gets there. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, what's going on? Where am I? And she zaps again, and she's back in division, right, with Mr. Ood. And Azur is, like, tempting her with the watch again, and ends up with someone going, this is better than anything we could have hoped for. We have division, we have the ability to destroy the universe with the flux, we can control the final flux, and now we also have you. I mean, she's so unimpressive as the Doctor. And this face is just such a Karen. It really is. Anyway, and then cold opening over. We're into the titles. By the way, just so you know, this is very anticlimactic. Don't get your hopes up there. It's going to have a great climax. So anyway, after the titles, the Sontarans are giving out a video message, and she's calling according to the base of the Daleks and Cybermen, saying, in this trying times of flux, we should work together and make a truce. So he's sending out a message to the Daleks and the Cybermen, which I thought was a bit weird. Meanwhile, above Earth, the Lupari shield surrounding Earth. Now remember, this was a bunch of spaceships that linked together to form an impenetrable shield against the flux, which had eaten planets. At this point, why is it not eating the Lupari? We don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. So there she's back on the Dogboy ship, Carvinista's ship. And said, hey, why do I keep jumping around? And she meets Bell, I think, for a second. Well, I lost my notes. She tries to work out why there are three versions of her. I think just very, very bad luck, really. It's like the worst thing ever. And then she does more David Tennant acting as he pushes it out of the way. Oh, now we got to do different things. And she says, fine, let's take you out of the shield, which will be will destroy the shield, right? Now the shield doesn't have any integrity. And they're like, no, don't do that. And she's like, too late, sorry. It's so awful. And she flies directly to Sontaran control in dark energy camera in Chile, right? So they flies there full steam ahead, and in the Sontaran command is the Sontarans and the Grand Serpent. They're working together. Meanwhile, she's flying towards there. And the Grand Serpent says, oh, look, there's a ship coming towards us. She says, oh, look at me. I'm so stunning, so brave. And she flies towards Sontaran Command, and dunk is hitting the shields. And then they say, fine, we are going to take you in, and we're going to interrogate you now because we have caught you. And then she goes into super smug mode. I mean, again, if you're not looking at the screen, look at the screen. Look how smug she is here. Oh, I'm so stunning. I'm so brave. I'm so smug. It was her plan to be captured so she could be taken and get into Barca defenses. So she said, while Carvinista and her girl are interrogated, they send Belle, who she's never met before, but she's a girl, so she must be the bestest ever, on a solo mission. But too late, vump, she zaps out again. All right, and she's back in division with Azur and the Fob Watch. She says, you know what we're going to do? why don't we just open it and see you start having to deal with all these memories? And she opens it and whoa, and there's all this stuff going inside. And now she's in a weird dream sequence with in black and white where everything else is in color, with Swarm and Azure taunting her. And they say, "Oh, this house is all your lives that you've lost, right?" And then Swarm starts waving his hand at it, and they start to dissolve. And she holds up her hand, and she's dissolving, and they're all laughing, and they go, and then they wind it back, and they can do it again. So they're torturing her and reasonably enjoying it, right? So then we zap back, and we're back in the tunnels again, and she doesn't know what's going on, because she doesn't know what's going on, right? Because that's her. She runs around waving her sonic screwdriver ineffectually and unconvincingly. Eki Thump over here! And pretends to look at it, and it's just not very good. Has a bit of a chat with Yaz. Said, "Oh, how long has it been for you?" She said, "Years. It's years. It's been so long." I said, "Oh, did you find somebody new? Did you go clam diving anywhere new?" And Dad said, "Oh, she's been the bestest ever. She has. Oh, leading us around. She's the total bestest ever." Then we get a meaningless info dump from this guy, the tunnels guy. And he said as he started to build something, he found all these portals to different worlds, and he structured the tunnels around them. His goal was, because he saw the final Flux and the destruction of the universe, so his goal was to build an underground city where they could all survive, right? Kate Lethbridge Jones said the Sontarans are working on some kind of psychic thing where they're taking humans and using them, using their psychic abilities. And also said they've discovered a weakness which has led to them raiding corner shops. Right, raiding corner shops. I'm not making this up, okay? I'm not. This is a major plot point in this Doctor Who. That the Sontarans like to raid corner shops. So then we see Sontarans, occupying, right, stomping around. Do we get the? Does she zoom? Does she zap out again? I can't remember. I think she starts to zap out again. But yeah, none of this really matters because they're like right now the Sontarans are invading corner shops, right? And so the Carter sends everybody away, and then he starts gorging himself on the candy. He likes the sweets, right? He is addicted to the sweets. So as he eats, somehow the Doctor knows he's going to be there, and she turns up, and she's smug and reasonably annoying. And he's like, "Oh, I like the candy, but you're smug and reasonably annoying." I am quite smug and reasonably annoying. And some Dan said, Chuck, she's kind of smug and reasonably annoying. Yeah, look at me, I'm being smug and annoying. So they make a deal with her, with the Sontaran. If he smuggles 2 people into the psychic experiments in Chile, are you keeping up so far? Okay, 2 people in the psychic experiments in Chile, she'll give him the recipe for chocolate. And he's like, "Yeah, okay, no problem. Sontar, I don't give a shit." So what the 2 people? Well, they're going to take Jellicoe, obviously. But also Claire, who has some kind of superpower, mental superpower, which I don't know. So she's just wandering walking down the street in 1967 after the Angels episode. Clearly they let her go. They just put her back, bye, catch you later. And she meets everybody, and they're like, "Yay, come with us, and you will go and fight Sontarans." Where are we up to? So they bring her into the TARDIS to infiltrate the psychic psychic command. Okay, and then she zaps back to Carvinista. Now we're over here. Then she said, "Oh, I remember you from my memories," and I sort of started to we were friends. Wait, were you my companion? I can't remember. He's like, "I can't tell you. I'm not allowed to tell you." I said, "Why aren't you allowed to tell me?" He says, "Well, there's a thing in my brain that if I talk about it, I die." Why don't they just erase the memories? Wouldn't that make it easy? No, Don't ask questions, especially logical ones. That will just hurt your head. And she zaps out again, and she's back with her in the black and white thing, watching the house be destroyed and rebuilt. And boom, she wakes up again, and Azor's standing over her. She wakes up. She's like, "What's going on?" So now Azor gives a bit of a info dump to the Doctor and says their plan is now the Flux will destroy the planet time, the temple where Anthropos last, and they'll play with time and write it back and forwards and make her watch it over and over again. And it'll be like a constant punishment for her having to witness the end of the universe over and over again. And then to reiterate the point how they're completely on time, Swarm starts to tear apart and go, yes, tear apart! But then puts it back together again, which I was a little bit gypped about. And she zaps out again, right? Does this seem a bit jumpy around you? Yeah. So now she's over in Sontaran Command, and they're captured with Dog Boy, Carvinista, and the Sontarans. Oh, yeah, so the Sontarans then say, oh, you're the last of the Lupari. It's like, what do you mean, the last? There's like a whole species of this. No. We remote opened all your ships and they vented into space, and everybody's dead. Your entire race, everybody you know is brown bread, mate. Everybody's dead, and they're dead, Dave. They're all dead. And then the Doctor is dragged off for interrogation, right? So that's what's going on. Anyway, and then you hear the dog howling from the trailer. All this while Bell watches from the shadows. On some nondescript planet somewhere, which we don't know, stands Passenger, and we zoom into Passenger, and he's got this planet inside him with Bell, with Diane and Vinda in there. Diane knows everything. Diane may just be a one-armed tour guide from Liverpool, but she knows more than a space pilot who knows all about, Passenger and what to do. Because she's stunning and she's brave. So how do we get out of it? He says, well, go and jump in the lake. And he tries to jump in the lake, and boom, they end up in this different world. They were in the red world, now we're in the blue world. And she says, yeah, you keep jumping from world to world. They've all got these different things, but whenever you get close to the edge of one, you jump to another one, and there's this weird security system of lots of passengers that will stop them. And she just takes his gun and goes, pew, 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 shoots them all down, pew, because they're protecting. This is apparently the control system of Passenger, right? And he's like, okay, fine. If I shoot it, we might be able to get it. So they shoot it, and then they're back at the entranceway, and they run out. They run up the steps. This is where I would be lost right there. I wouldn't be able to make it. Run up the steps, and then they teleport out, and now they're on the planet. Does it have an atmosphere? Who knows? Doesn't really matter. With outside of Passenger. I just love the way that Diane knows how to use a gun because she's so stunning and so brave. Vinda says at one point, you should be teaching at the academy. Which academy? We don't know. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. Over at Sontaran Command, Jellicoe and Claire are being hooked up to the Sontaran machine so they can slave their intelligence and their psychic abilities. Oh, let me go back there. Slave their psychic abilities. So they can find out the time and the location of the final Flux event, right? They need to find that out. Meanwhile, the Doctor is being interrogated by the Grand Serpent, and frankly, they're both very bad at it, right? They're both utterly shit at it. Whittaker keeps doing her smug David Tennant impersonation. I don't know why she thinks it's good, right? I don't know why she thinks it's good. Eventually, the Grand Serpent's had enough, and he starts causing the serpents to come out of her, and she's describing what's going on, and she's boring. So now it gets bad, okay? Now it gets really, 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 really bad. Because he said, hey, two things you don't know. The serpent that jumped out of her is now in flux with her, right? Because she's in 3 different time zones at once. so he can't lock onto it to bring it back. But the second problem is a TARDIS arrives and out she comes, right? Because she's stunning and brave. So there's three of them now, and so the Doctor comes and saves the Doctor. Oh God, just look at this face. Really? Why did you think that was a good acting choice? So the Doctor saves the Doctor, and then the Doctor says, "Oh, I got such a crush on her." Talking about the Doctor. Here, look, Icky Thump, you saved me. Just what I would do. And they hold Grand Serpent in the confinement beam or whatever, as his serpent dies at his feet. So now there's two of them, and they head off to the TARDIS, and oh God, it's so bad. It's like double the Doctor is triple the shit. Okay, double the Doctor, triple the shit. Meanwhile, Dan goes and rescues Carvinista, gets him out of his cage, said, "Oh, I went to fetch me dog," or whatever. Okay, so over in the TARDIS, it's just excruciating. We have the Doctor being smug with the Doctor, talking to the Doctor, and so it's just like a bam. I'm like, why? Why do they think that Jodie Whittaker is their secret source, right? Why on earth would they think Jodie Whittaker? Yeah, that's we need more of that. I thought they understood, right? I thought they understood she was basically useless, and they were trying to avoid her whenever possible. No, I guess they kind of gave up at this point. They're like, well, anybody's going to watch is going to watch at this point. But it's truly awful. It's shockingly bad, right? It's absolutely shockingly bad. So they make contact secretly with Claire and Jellicoe, who are busy being tortured by the Sontarans to get this. And again, Claire's got this psychic power, which I'm not sure about, and now they got these like special magic rings. I don't remember them getting it. They're transmat rings. And they said, you just need to hold out for a little bit longer. I know it's very uncomfortable. Because they need to find out the location of where the Flux is. Meanwhile, the Doctor's like looking at this Sontaran transmission, going, well, why do they want to make a truce with the Daleks and the Cybermen? That seems weird. So then the Doctor gets to meet Belle. Stunning and Brave Woman meets Stunning and Brave Woman, and they find out she's pregnant, and it's so happy. Oh, a key thump, a young lady's pregnant, even though she has no pregnancy to really display. She's pregnant. Oh, and the other Doctor loves it too. I mean, like I said, this is not the same character, right? This is cringe number 1 and cringe number 2. Again. What were they thinking? Like, how are they thinking this is a good idea? So they're listening to the Sontaran whatever, and they go, oh, I thought I'd be so stunning and brave, and don't work it out. They try. She puts on a thinking head. She tries to think super hard, and then the other one tries to think as well. Said, oh, I can just ask questions. Oh, I don't know. Meanwhile, Carvinista bruises his entire species. Has just been eliminated. But it's too complex for even the stunning double brain of Jodie Whittaker and Jodie Whittaker, so they call in a third one, and contact, and then they contact the third Jodie Whittaker Doctor over at Division, and they like swap ideas, and now it's like there's three of them. Now there's three of them. Like, why? I get the thing that went through my head, keep going through my head, goes, why? Why? Like, why are you doing this? So together they work out that the Flux is from in the antimatter universe, and so they work out where it comes from, and hopefully that'll be helpful in a few minutes as they try and like piece things together. Oh, Doctor, you're stunning and brave. Meanwhile, Claire is they turn up the power. And she's like, oh, and then she comes up with the they able to get the psychic reading for the final Flux, and then they initiate the Flux stratagem, or what, I can't even remember what it's called. Flux strategy. So the Serpent comes out and says, the Doctor was here and she rescued herself. Well, the same Doctor rescued herself. And he's like, I just need to scan the Earth for Archer energy to find her. So he scans the Earth, and then he finds Kate Stewart, who he's really wants to get, right? Really wants to get to. Meanwhile, on the passenger planet, which apparently has an oxygen atmosphere. Better luck that. Vinda takes out a magic walkie-talkie and calls the Doctor, calling the TARDIS, which Bell hears, and oh, yay, Vinda's alive. Whole thing about, I wonder if you changed since I saw it. Forget it. That's all gone. Yeah, no, it's gone. I mean, it does make me think that this whole crew is going to be back more than once while before she wraps up her run. Or maybe not. I mean, does it really matter? I mean, I don't know. So does it? I mean, it'd be fine if we never see him again. But it's kind of said everything's left dangling. Again, it's anticlimactic. It's so weird that they would choose to go this way. But that's the way they went to choose. They chose to go to. So Vinda, so the Bell hears Vinda, and they lock onto his signal, right? And they to get to him. And so that's where they all go. Oh, as soon as she hears his voice, her baby monitor starts sending out hearts. Again, is she pregnant or not? But then Passenger wakes up again, and then sucks them all in there, but they've locked onto them. So now the Doctor says, "No problem, we'll find you." Meanwhile, Grand Serpent is now on Earth after hunting for the Artron energy, and he says, "I've just got to finish." And now they bring out this random character. You don't even know this guy's name. What's his connection to anything? It's so weird. I mean, it's genuinely very, very, very strange. What is his connection? And she says, "Where's Kate Stewart?" And he's like, "Well, I don't bloody know. I mean, maybe you could have used somebody from the unit audios from Big Finish, but who is this nondescript guy that we've never seen before?" And he's dead, right? He gets the snake to come out, and he tells them where to find them. Just as the snake comes out, and they go, "Oh, you should have told me sooner." Okay. So Kate is in the tunnels. So now the Doctor goes to the tunnels to Kate. Why is she going there? I don't even know which Doctor this is now. Right, so she goes to the tunnels to Kate, and she waves around and waggles around a sonic screwdriver. And Yaz and the Doctor bicker. So the Yaz just does a big, an instant answer to where these portals came from. And it's the flux energy manifesting itself in the past with convenient doors to wherever they need to go. God, this is so contrived. It's so bad. I mean, there's so many things that you go, "Well, that's silly. That's strange." And yeah, so you got to explain it to me. So then she does in a patronizing way. So then it's time to get rid of Stevenson. He's done his job, right? He doesn't. Chibnall characters aren't characters; they are plot devices, right? That's all they ever are. So they got to get him back to 1900 whatever it was, and he tells the Doctor she's the best as ever, and he goes through a portal, never to be seen again. Catch you later. Goes through a door. Meanwhile, back at Division, the Ood says the final flux has begun, and Doc says, "Oh, can you limit it a little bit?" And he'll say, "I'll see what I can do." Apparently, I don't know. Meanwhile, on the passenger planet, the TARDIS shows up and then materializes inside Passenger and collects Vinda and Diane, right? So now we're in the TARDIS, and we have tearful reunions with Bell and Vinda and Dan and Diane. The Bell and Vinda one is a little bit more tearful. He finds out that he's going to be a dad. Okay. And now the Doctor does an info dump of what the plan is, because her and Yaz and Kate and Bell, they work it out because they're so stunning, they're so brave, there's no agenda here to be seen. Oh, no. So their stunning and brave plan is they work out that the Sontaran... God, look at Tony Whittaker trying to think. I mean, really? They work out the Sontarans are trying to make a truce with the Daleks and Cybermen to survive the flux, but it's all a big sham. They're luring into the place of the final flux, and then they're going to take the Wolpari shields and hide behind them as the flux eats them up. And as the flux is made of antimatter and they're made of matter, that should eat up the flux. And so they'll save the universe and be the Vanquishers of the Daleks and the Cybermen all in one go, and they'll be the bestest ever. And so they're like, well, should we warn the Cybermen? And Dalek says, no, I got a more risky plan. Okay, apparently so. So then Division, at the Division Swarm, finally tells Doctor his evil, cunning plan. He's going to take her to the Temple of Atropos on the planet Time and sacrifice her to time, because time is now an entity, right? Like a corporeal entity, right? Fine. So somehow, so now they decide that they got to break into two groups. They're going to have the Doctor, Vinder, Bell, and Carvinista in one group, and Yaz, Dan, Diane, and the Doctor in another group. Now, somehow, on the Sontaran ship, and after they found the coordinates to the final flux, they've also been let go or broken out, and now they're about to use their magic rings to teleport out. Diane does, because she's a woman. She's stunning and brave, right? But Klutzy, and she gets to the TARDIS, but Klutzy Jellicoe, not so much, and he gets into a firefight with Sontarans. Pew, 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 pew. And meanwhile, in I think they're in deep space at the time, right? The Sontaran come out deep space. The Sontarans are about to enact their stratagem, while at the same time, she says, do I have the picture of Bell? No, the Bell sneaks up on a Sontaran, bops him over the head, because it's Bell, because she's stunning and brave. Then the Doctor runs in, still can't run. 3 years, I mean, like, what, her third season, still can't run. Ekithom doesn't know how to run. And she and now she commits genocide, right? I don't want to undersell this. She absolutely commits genocide. And look how she's smiling as she commits genocide. So the Daleks show up, as do the Cybermen. And they go, they are the Daleks, and we are Cybermen. And then the Flux shows up and starts eating them all up, blowing up all their shit. Pew, 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 pew. And the Daleks are like, we have been beaten, we have been betrayed by the Sontaran. Yeah, really? The Daleks. Jesus, it's stupid. Boom, boom, boom. And then the Cybermen all say, like, we are just, and they get blown up, and the Sontaran's like, Sontar, rah, Sontar. But then and then over at the in the Division, the Ood is saying that I've done what I can to limit the flux, but I'll see what I can. But then, okay, on the back in the Sontaran ship, Carvinista appears and gloats at the evil Sontaran commander who destroyed his entire species. Says, "Now I'm going to get back at you and destroy your whole species." And so they're using the Ulpari shields to hold the flux in with the Sontarans. Okay, so again, this seems to be genocide. Not a very Doctor Who thing to do. They Vinder and Bell take out their communications array so they can't warn anybody to run away, and they all get killed, right? They all get killed. Doctor shows up to do a bit of gloating. You thought I beat you all. Off you go. And then she contacts Jellicoe and says, look, if you have to get to an escape craft now, they're all going to die. And he's like, I'm terribly sorry. I have a one-way trip. His magic ring's been blown up. The Sontaran comes in, they get into a firefight as the flux comes to the ship, and it starts eating up the Sontaran ship from the inside. And Jellicoe's like, what an awfully big adventure this has been. And Jellicoe, again, one of the only good characters in this, goes away as the Sontaran's fleet is completely destroyed. So Jellicoe, last I mentioned. So a plan is to trap the flux inside there. Then Diane comes up with, there's only a little bit of flux left, so Diane comes up with the plan and says, you know what, we'll use passenger, because, stunning and brave women can do everything. And then the rest of the flux is sucked into passenger. Meanwhile, we're nearly there. We're at the last 10 minutes. Thank God. Now they're on Atropos. They've left the Division, and Swarm and the Zorg arrive there with the Doctor, and they meet time, right? You actually meet this flowy, glowy time thing, who then takes on. I just assumed this was also a swarm, right? I don't know, one of his same species or something. No, this is, we don't really find this out yet. This is a form he takes on, and now he takes out Swarm and Azure. They're gone, inconsequential, doesn't matter, nothing freaking matters, and just leaves the pocket watch. So this is pretty good news for the Doctor. So then time takes on the appearance of Doctor with the dark coat as opposed to the white coat, and she's just annoying. And he says, the Doctor's like, you can go, but you can't outrun me. Your time's nearly drawing to an end. He says, no, I keep up, no. Oh, I got so much more time left. Is there nothing lasts forever? No life, no regeneration. I said, beware, the forces race against you, and their master. I think she was trying to hint something where she fades away, and then the Doctor fades back to the TARDIS, and all the fans there, and the busy TARDIS. Beforehand, sorry, I forgot. The time then gets all the 3 Doctors and merges them together, and then now she's back in the TARDIS, and she sees the whole like a super big fan. This Doctor is always has massively packed TARDISes, right? Massively packed TARDISes. So now they one more plot thread. They got the Grand Serpents looking for Kate. Vinda turns up, holds a gun on him, and together they force him through one of the doors and abandon him somewhere out on a rock in the like Sapphire and Steel, and the rock in the middle of nowhere. Also murdering him, it would appear. And do we know anything about Grand Serpent? No, nothing. Nothing makes sense. Nothing needs to make sense. Then the ships fly away. We got Belle, Vinda, and Carvinista. They fly off together as a stunning and brave new TV show. Probably better than this one. Claire ends up with Kate Lethbridge Stewart. Says, "Oh, I like this Doctor. I hope we see more of you." I really don't. I really don't. And then they head off again, and it's all over. Okay, the Flux has destroyed most of the universe. We know that, but everything's fine now. The Earth's fine. It was surrounded by dog creatures. No, it's all forgotten. There's no consequence to absolutely anything whatsoever. And everyone's back where like Dan is still being an unpaid tour guide in this Liverpool museum. Diane's like, "What the hell are you doing here?" Tad's like, "Do you want to go out and get a bite at last?" She's like, Nah, I really, genuinely do not. Piss off and leave me alone. So Dan's walking dejected on his own by these where we saw the location footage. And she's, "Hey, come in the TARDIS. Keith up. Oh, it's so nice." So then we have Yaz and the Doctor have a nice heart-to-heart. And just everything is so anticlimactic. And the Doctor says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't bring you in. Oh, I've been trying to find my past self." And she tries to talk to him, and she nearly cries. And they nearly kiss, right? They basically nearly kiss. And she says, "Oh, can we speak the love that dare not say its name?" And they genuinely nearly kiss. It seems like, but then Dan comes up, says, "Oh, where can I find a room?" And says, "Oh, I'll take you because I know everything, mate." Leaving the Doctor alone with her watch, and so she takes his ball out the TARDIS and puts it down this large hole, and tells the TARDIS to hide it from her forever, keep it away from her, and then never ever tell her unless she really, really demands it, right? Unless she really, really says it. And that's gone. Again, I'm just assuming all these plot threads are going to be picked up. But then I don't know why. And now we're in the titles. And then coming New Year's Day, Elf Storage. Why couldn't it be on Christmas? Okay, Elf Storage. Apparently she's famous. I've no idea who she is. No idea who he is. They have Daleks in it. The Doctor looks like they're going to be exterminated. There's this new Gatling gun type of Dalek gun. Go, beep, 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 and he shoots 3 people. Now, it looks to me, this is the first frame of it, so it looks to me that one of them is Yaz, right? That looks like Yaz over there. Dan and the Doctor, and then boo, they're all shot, and the end. The end. And there you go. Man. It was not good. Let's be fair. It was not very good at all. Probably one of Chibnall's weakest episodes. Yeah, it absolutely was one of his weakest episodes. So how did it do? It's getting reasonably slated. And I'm going to do another video going over the reviews, but it's being reasonably slated, right? Reasonably, because it was garbage. Those people who watched it. So how many people did watch it? Not that many, as we find out. The overnight was 3.58, which isn't the lowest overnight ever. It's the second lowest night ever. The lowest one was 3.45 2 weeks earlier. And before that, what was it? 3.78? Yeah, but I'm intrigued to see. They don't have the consolidated figures yet, because they had a bump last week. It was 3.45 for week 4, and then it went with 3.82, and then week 4 was Village of the Angels, which I think gave it a real bump. And they also had a million point one bump for the consolidated. However, I think episode 5 was pretty bad, and so I think it's going to get less consolidated. I think it's probably going to get like 800,000, which will bring it up to a 4.6 something. So this is 3.58. I think we're probably looking at a 4.4. Yeah, probably looking like around a 4.4. Will that be, which will make it one of the lowest rate? Yeah, I think there's a chance this could be one of the lowest rated ones. Right now, the lowest rated episode is 4.55. Narrowly beaten by 4.67. That was the week before. Narrowly beaten by the Timeless Children, 4.69. Right? I think this is going to be less than all of that. And I think this is basically where Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who falls out in the figures. I think it falls out to about 3.5 overnight, which crushes me. I really hope to get 3.1. Right, I really hope for a 3.1 to beat McCoy. We got 3 episodes to go, even though, again, the McCoy rating isn't really fair in my mind. But, we got 3 episodes to go. Thankfully, only 3. And then 1 month to go. I got a whole month before I have to deal with this again. And melt my freaking brain trying to go through this nonsense. So, so who knows? Who knows what it's going to be? The New Year's episode. It depends what ITV has against it. I hope they have something good, man. I do hope they have something good against it. So there's a Dalek one. We know we're getting at least one Master one. And then who knows? Maybe it'll be a standalone. Who cares? Really, who cares? This era is about to be retconned away from. I think this is the lowest rated season. I think this is the lowest rated season of the revival era. So it's lowest rated in about 40 years. That's not really very good. How's it going? Not very well. Not very well, I think is the answer. Listen, I watched it so you don't have to. It was really genuinely awful, right? Really genuinely awful. I can do that. So listen, join me tomorrow night. I'm going to do a live stream. Jodie Whittaker's done an interview. Oh, we're going to go over that, and we are going to rip the piss out of that. Also, on my live stream, I normally do my recap review of Star Trek Discovery. Even worse than this. I mean, oh no. This is about as bad as Star Trek Discovery. I was going to say this has been better than Star Trek Discovery so far. This is about as bad. It's really, again, I think this is one of the worst episodes they've done. It really is. It's shockingly bad. Right? Really, really shockingly bad. Can Rusty Davis come back and save things? I don't know. I really, genuinely don't know. My guess is probably. But boy. Thankfully, only 3 more episodes of this dross to go. And then the nightmare is over. The nightmare is over. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.